Greetings and welcome everyone to an All You Can Geek bonus round, episode 25. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast.
Didn't switch it up, Jim?
What's that? No.
I'm punning it.
I got it, and I missed the pun. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Corey Feinside.
Yo.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Boom.
So welcome listeners and viewers to a special edition. This is a bonus round number 25, NX Switch. The old NX switcheroo?
Yep.
I guess.
Switchy
right.
swaggity?
So the big news today,
It's happening!
It finally happened.
We've been bombarded with news this entire week since we've done our podcast, but the big news today, probably the biggest news, was Nintendo finally took the veil off of its codename NX console, and we now have let's start with the console name. Console name is now called just called Switch. Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch. Which I personally think is one of the worst Nintendo names I've ever
listen, Nintendo's had some shit names. I didn't like the Wii. I'm sorry, I never liked the Wii. And the Wii U.
Well, the Wii U is terrible naming-wise just because
I'm talking
people
names.
thought it was
I'm
like an
only talking
extension.
Names. Yeah.
But the Wii, I understand because it's unique and it didn't mean anything at the time, but it became something that was unique to the company, Nintendo. Yeah. And it the two eyes were like the Wii controllers. I mean, like it all made sense.
Here's the thing.
And
that didn't make a lot of sense.
People.
What?
There's also people.
Well, that didn't make a That didn't make a lot of sense to us at the time, though. Like it.
No,
it made sense because it was successful. So the name itself became popular just due to success.
Right, but it's unique. It's different.
Well, I don't know where we're getting this into, right? But the name Wii was specifically chosen, and they actually did a lot of research because it was one of the few unique words that was actually pronounceable in the majority of languages worldwide.
So they chose Switch the next time?
Look, I was talking about the Wii. That's it.
Yeah,
I was talking about the Wii.
Going with Switch. Switch is not an easy word for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so unoriginal sounding.
I mean,
and
I
not
like
what I expected from Nintendo.
No, okay, listen. I actually didn't. You probably liked the NX codename. I didn't care for that at all. The NX. I'm not saying that I'm the biggest fan of Switch because I think that they could have gone with an actual cool name with a console.
Sure.
They could have just called it.
I agreed.
Yeah. So I mean, they could have called
it
it
Dual.
NES.
It could have been anything.
Could be NES.
Anything.
The dual what?
The dual as in fighting dual.
Oh, duel.
So it kind of has the double meaning. It's kind of like people hear
duet.
dual.
It could have just been the
Anything
Nintendo Switcheroo.
Sure, that would have been better.
Or how about what I saw on Twitter? I'm not even taking credit for this, but it was what the Switch, but with an I, so you get Switch.
No, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the name, but it's only a fucking name. It's not a big deal in my opinion.
I mean, I don't know. Is
names
Xbox or PlayStation really that?
Brand recognition at that point.
Well, no, at this point, yeah, it's brand recognition. But you think if they launched a new system these days, it'd be called the PlayStation?
Sure. The thing is,
really?
It's a better name than Switch.
Yeah.
It tells you exactly what you're doing. And when you put PlayStation into Google, you're going to get PlayStation. You put Switch into Google, you're not getting Nintendo right away.
That's true.
I mean, I come from networking, and all I think about are these freaking Switches I have to deal with every day, day in, day out, and it freaking sucks.
Why we're not a PC gamer. We're not a PC gamer because we work with this shit all the time.
It doesn't have a good connotation for me in my personal life. I understand not everybody's got the same background, but just as a technician or network professional for myself, Switch just sounds terrible, and it doesn't excite me for a gaming console.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a name that would be cooler, but
not that,
I don't want to waste
this
the time.
Is just on the name. We're not talking about is this going to be a great console? Is this going to revolutionize the way we portabilize our gaming? Whatever. That's besides the point. Just the naming itself. And when I think of Nintendo, I think they come up with really good names. The GameCube was a great name, I thought. It was exactly what the game. It's a gaming system, and it's a cube. I mean, it makes sense. And it was unique to that system. I mean, and the Wii, like we were saying, it's unique, and people know exactly when you say Wii, you're talking about the Nintendo system.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, like, the thing is, they're also known for, like, not really great, like, the DS, like, what the fuck did that mean? It's 2 letters.
Like, exactly, and that's what I'm saying, like...
But it was the best-selling system.
So. Dual screen. It was dual screen.
They're not afraid to, have weird names. Switch is not weird. It's not unique. It's not original. It's just... It is.
Yeah.
Right.
It's an everyday word that people say a lot, especially in our profession.
Yeah. All right. Let's just move into the trailer now. Now, we don't have a lot of specs. We don't have any specs. We don't have any pricing. We don't have any release dates, a specific release date. We have March 2017. So we don't have much yet to go on, but we got the trailer, which revealed what the console looked like. Obviously, we got the name in it we just talked about. So let's go with design. What do you guys think of the design of this console? So let's just talk about what it is actually first.
I think they nailed.
So we have a tablet. We have a tablet that docks at home. Essentially, that kind of sums it up. Now, the tablet does have detachable controllers on the sides, which we talked about. That can actually slide into a controller at home and become a controller. Both of the controllers.
I think that Digital Foundry leak basically nailed everything.
Yeah, it was pretty spot on, in my opinion. It was pretty spot on. So the design's out there. What are we looking at? What do you guys think about the console design? I'm happy that we actually, when it's put together, we have a legitimate controller with 2 analog sticks on there, and it doesn't look like any sort of motion controls are built into this, right? Did they say anything about that, Tony?
They didn't confirm today, but it seems like it'd just be something that'd be in there at this point. I mean,
they didn't show camera attachment.
It looked like people were going like this a lot, but that's just because they may be excited, but it looks like they're moving the controllers a lot.
I never got anything about a motion control. So here's the thing, because I don't think there is.
Not much.
If you're using the Switch controllers, the Joy-Cons, they call them, the Joy-Cons, the 2 side controllers.
There's a unique name that's dumb, but they're unique.
The Joy-Cons. So
the Joy Station.
These little controllers, and I will stress little, looked very uncomfortable to use, and I don't think can have motion sensors in there to use anyways. So why would they have that feature?
Have accelerometers in them.
I mean, these are tiny little thin things, and cost-wise, like, I'm getting into way too much stuff here. I'm moving on. Let's stay with the design.
Well, hold on. I just want to cite again that Emily Rogers, who has had rumors for the Axe for like weeks, if not months, and has been spot on with everything else so far, has stated in her blog post that the detachable controllers do have motion controls and vibration technology. So,
I mean, getting a haptic engine in one of those things, it can't be that expensive. I mean, Game Boy had a freaking attachment that you could put onto it that had like a Game Boy Advance. So, I mean, you could put a little motor in there, get some, feedback, actual feedback, and then accelerometers. I don't see why not. You wouldn't have that.
Yeah.
I mean, how does it know? I mean, not that how does it know, but I mean, once you take it off, you're going to want to be able to use it. Like, how does the button D-pad know when it's sideways or when it's not sideways?
Well, yeah, I know. I get you there. I just, looking at the tablet itself now, we didn't get a screen size. We don't know how big that screen actually is. We don't know how thin the tablet's going to be. It doesn't seem like it's going to be that thin. But overall, actually, I'm not that upset with the design. I think it's fine. I think it's actually pretty nice. It's probably the best design that they could have come up with for a docking system. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have a tablet. You don't want it to be too bulky. You don't want it to... it can't be too expensive because they have to keep the price down. So this is what we get, theoretically. I mean, we're not expecting this system to be $400. So... I think overall I'm happy with this. The only thing I'm not happy with so far from what I'm reading is that dock unit isn't any graphical increase. So if we're getting a 720p tablet, we're getting 720p resolutions.
Somebody else rumored that there is some way for the dock doesn't have like there's no like extra like graphical like video card in it or something like that, but there's something that, well, I don't know if it's just like if the NX detects like that in the dock station, it runs off of like the AC plug and like kind of like how if your laptop's on
The only thing, and that's the design. Thank you, Corey. Showing it to our viewers on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, if you're listening, check out our YouTube channel because we got video for this. So, the only thing that they can do with a dock, like you were probably just getting into right there before we get interrupted with Corey's screen, is they could underclock the processor in the tablet mode and then overclock it in the dock because of the fans. So the interface needs to detect that and automatically overclock. Temperature regulations would be tough with that though in a tablet. I don't know how that works with tablets overclocking. You know what I mean? Like the Tegra chip.
Samsung does it with their phones all the time, but you could use them as explosives also.
I mean, the Tegra chip is a custom Tegra. It's more powerful than the regular Tegra. I know that. I was reading about what they have. But it's still about 50% of the power of the Xbox One. Now, Nintendo's never been about being the most powerful console on the market. But, as we've seen, they can't get the third-party developers, which means by the year 3 of the console, it's never a good thing.
So, well, if people start developing for like the Pro and the Scorpio and everything, then, that's where, yes, they will be left behind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, no, because it's still 50% weaker than the Xbox One.
No, I'm saying once they go from the Pro
teraflop
to the Scorpio,
power,
there's going to be way behind. I mean, right now they're 50% behind, according to what Jim's saying here. We have no idea.
Percentage-wise, I don't think it's 50%.
You're just going off of what we know about the stock Tegra chip. It's known to be a specialized one, so we don't know what that means.
It could be running at the power of an Xbox One. Now, here's the problem. Like, it's a portable system as well. So, do you expect to be holding an Xbox One in your hand? I mean, I don't, but...
I mean, the technology's gone a lot further. I mean, when the Vita came out, it was supposed to be the PlayStation 3 in your hands. I mean, it's funny, is that trailer reminded me a lot of the Vita trailer when that came out. Like, a lot of the same points were hit. And, like, obviously now the technology's here where it can actually come to fruition, but if it's portable, it's not going to be as it's not going to be on the same level as Xbox and PlayStation 4.
No, but that's what the idea that we talked about with the dock, where it was going to have a separate graphic processor in there, and that would be able to then essentially jump the graphics up. So
exactly,
you'd play.
You'd think that would
you would play like a smaller, slightly inferior copy, like we saw. If you saw the tablet mode Zelda, it's early. It's not that early. You saw the tablet mode Zelda in that video. The frame rate was not good in that tablet mode. Whereas on the TV, it seemed like it was pretty smooth, right? So
I don't know if we got a good enough sample size to really judge.
I really wouldn't judge that based on a YouTube video.
Well, I mean, you can see the frame.
You can analyze it and all you want, but sample size wise, I just don't know if it's enough. I mean, I guess it's definitely there. People.
But if you see a frame rate dip in the sample, like the video, okay, there's no question it's a frame rate dip, right? You can't. That's what happened in the video. If it's there in the video, you would assume that's the best version they can show us. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying right there.
Maybe. I mean.
That's what I got when I saw the frame rate.
Again, there's so much speculation going on. We can't really say, and I wouldn't doubt it. I'm not saying that you're wrong, Jim, or anything, because I would assume that something like that would take place. But then, why is it better on the TV?
That's true. And so maybe, and that's like we said, we don't know enough yet. And then, like we were on Slack talking today, and I ended up going into a rant against Mike about stupid home versus portable, because when they say the system is a home console first, I like to take people at their word when they first talk until they prove me wrong. I don't like to distrust people right away.
Mike's
not on to show his opinion.
They had to say
unfair,
that, though, because people automatically assumed it wasn't.
Well, yeah, but now the main feature is that portable feature. So they showed us this video of this console, which we can describe now. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. It's on YouTube. You dock the machine. He's playing it on a controller, which looked pretty cool. I like that controller quite a bit. And then just when he's ready to go, he slides them out of the top, and those two Joy-Con controllers. There it is. Slides them out of the top of the controller and slides them into the tablet and picks it up and goes. This is exactly what we were talking about, anyways, for the past few months, right? We haven't talked about anything different. This is a great idea. I think we've all said that, right? I mean, Tony, you've been talking about this how long?
2 years at least.
Yeah. So this is the only way Nintendo could go.
And they went offset sticks too this time, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the buttons on the top.
Which I like. Now that's preference.
You gotta have buttons on top.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tony. What?
But no, I mean, this is the thing, and I think this was really what the Wii U should have been.
Oh,
I mean, I think it was...
Everybody thought the Wii U was going to be.
Right, because as soon as people were like, oh, that's kind of cool, it's like, so I could take the tablet with me, right? It's like, no, you can't. It's tethered, like, wirelessly. It's like, oh, that's...
Yeah. Well, at least I can play in my bedroom in the other room. Well, maybe.
Yeah, I've experienced that myself, too. So, you know, like, it's just, again, like we've talked on a recent podcast, it's just, sometimes the technology is just not there. You know, for a mass market price. Like, was this possible back in 2012? Probably, technically. Was it going to be anywhere near affordable? No, definitely not. So, you know, it's just trade-offs. And you know, as Mike said, you know, as Mike tried to attack, it's like, you can't have everything. You can't. You just possibly can't. There's no system that will ever come out where it's like, oh, look, unlimited power. There's no such thing.
But, like... They could have made that dock with a video card built into it. Like, that would have helped out greatly.
But here's the thing. Here's the beauty of this. Who's to say they won't?
Yes.
Who's to say they won't?
True. I mean, we're new uncharted territories. You were saying in the chat, like, this is the era of 2-year, 3-year rehashes. So
like, we got to throw everything we know about the traditional console market of 30 years now and throw it out the window. And it's not just Nintendo that's doing it. You know, Sony did it with the PlayStation 4 Pro, and Microsoft's doing it with the Scorpio. Like, the rules are just gone these days. And Nintendo is notorious for changing up their handhelds, and I'm not classifying this as a handheld. It's its own thing. Whatever. That argument is whatever. But I just can't see Nintendo just being like, yep, we're never changing this for 5 years.
I mean, they added the expansion pack to 64. I mean,
exactly. Like, Nintendo is
not unheard of. Either.
And if you wanted to play those games, which was like pretty huge, like, you know, Majora's Mask and I think even
Perfect
like Rogue's
Dark was like
Perfect
the first
Dark,
one, you know.
Donkey Kong, I think it came bundled. You had to. You know, I could see them doing that. I can see them in like that first 18 month, which is what I said, because 18 month I think would cover like the early adopters, so they don't feel burned. Like, oh, I just bought this. Like, what the heck? But at the same time, I think that lines up perfectly with, like, you know, a Gen 2 model, and a year and a half from March would be right before the holiday season of
2019.
Yeah. Or 2018,
yeah,
or whatever. Or whatever it is.
2018 would be the...
A long day, I can't. But 18 months.
Yes.
But
2018.
I'm right, especially if it slides down and it's like, hey, you don't have to buy a new system, it's just buy a new dock. Totally optional.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they said. They said that the hardware is built into the tablet, which is, that's the part that we're kind of talking about at this point in time. So it is expandable then, theoretically, if you talk about it.
So I haven't seen what they talked about on the dock then. What did they say with the dock? 'Cause there's got to be technology in there that does something.
No, it's the TV out. That's what they said. TV out.
So then how is there a frame rate difference?
Right,
that
exactly.
Zelda was full screen on a 55-inch TV, and it looked amazing in that. Or maybe it's 60-inch. I don't know. I'm estimating screen size in this video, but
I mean, this
it
could
looks
be
really good. Zelda.
The point of switching just may have, made it look like that. Who knows? Like, we're just speculating, but
yeah,
if it's all in the system, there's no way there should be. I don't see how you can have a frame rate drop if you just unhook it. I think it would be, run better because now it's not outputting the video.
Yeah. So we got to get some more information on this. We really do. No pricing. We did get to look at the games. They did show us a quick shot of the games, which aren't quite SD cards.
No talking in this video.
No.
Either.
Did you guys get that? They're not quite SD cards. I mean, they're thick.
They look like Vita cards.
Yeah, they're pretty thick, those games. So it's a proprietary card there that goes in, which is fine because that's what 3DS games are anyways, right? They're not really SD, are they?
I don't think so.
I think they're bigger anyways. So, and they have the tab anyways. They're proprietary as it is. So these are a little thicker. I'm just wondering what their capacity is going to be. We were talking about capacities. Let's move into that. Nowadays, a game is usually around 45 gigs, 40 gigs for a game, for a pretty good home console game. these are a hybrid game console, but I still say it needs to have a terabyte hard drive for home, right? I mean, this is not crazy talk, right?
I mean, it depends on if you want to go digital or not. I mean,
right.
It's cartridge. They
even if I didn't go digital on my Xbox and I need more space, I got a 4 terabyte out there.
Disc. With cartridges, you're not loading stuff onto a hard drive.
You're not installing from a cartridge. No, you're running from the cartridge. Yeah.
There's no moving parts there, so you're not worrying about.
It's a lot faster boots. Yeah. So that's true, but you still got patches. You still got. I mean, like, there's still. How many times have we gotten a day 1 20 gig patch? Like, sure. Let's take for what it is. Now, this is, by the way, unconfirmed to be released. Bethesda has yet to say, yes, we are making this game. But during the video reel, they showed... Did you see that news, by the way? That they, yeah. Unbelievable. Anyways, Bethesda, so they showed during...
Really quick, I just want to... Because you said... from, like, a first knee-jerk reaction, you're like, yeah, that's unbelievable. But at the same time, like, this is a game that hasn't even been officially, released.
But they showed it!
I know, but it's not officially released on the system. And, them saying, hey, we have an annex version. Like, there might be people that would be like, you know what?
The good news about this is it's Elder Scrolls running the new edition, the new one coming out.
Right.
So it's not running a game that was built in 2011. It's running a game that's been souped up to run on these new consoles behind, that we have, PS4 and Xbox One. So
still running an engine that was designed for a system that was.
Sure.
8 years old.
Sure. I mean, remember how shitty that game ran? Like, all I'm using this as an example of is...
Couldn't even run on PlayStation. You got halfway through the game
broke.
And killed it.
Patching is going to be key for... If they're getting Bethesda to make games
they're going to have mods on that thing.
Yeah. Patching is going to be key. They're going to need hard drive space. First of all, a 32 gig console storage space is not going to cut it if that's what we get. It needs to be at least 500 gigs. And I don't see how you do that in a dock. I don't see where that's going to go.
I mean, SD card slot, dude. Bro.
I'm not buying a 512
gig SD cards are freaking
card.
expensive if you're going that high.
Yeah, 512 is expensive. Go ahead, search it. It's up there. 64.
I mean, if you're getting stuff that doesn't spin, it's when you're getting, anything that's flash drive type of thing that's not spinning any disk or something, it costs a lot more. Like SD. Solid state drives and flash drives, all that's going to cost more. I
mean, I'm just ballpark 200 gigabyte micro SD card on Amazon, $70.
Here is a 512 XDS XC, which you need if you're doing 512 gig storage. It's $200, and that's standard. That's standard storage. That's hardly enough for most people.
No, I know. I mean, I blew past mine.
So
on mine.
This is where I have a lot of questions.
I play my Xbox. I play like 3 games on my Xbox, and I'm always.
Right, but here's the thing. It has a USB 3.0 port, so you could just get an external hard drive. Like, I don't understand what the big deal is.
As long as they support that, you're right.
PlayStation doesn't support that.
But I don't have to do something when I buy my PlayStation 4. But when I buy my PlayStation 4 out of the box, I can play it with a couple games, not one. That's one game on 32 gigs. That's what I'm saying. Like, these companies are giving us 500 gig hard drives, which is small, but it's operable at that point. It's hardly on my PS4 with the VR games I'm getting and stuff. My management's been ridiculous. I've got to upgrade that hard drive. It's just driving me nuts.
Yeah, which is what I'm saying. Regardless of how much they give you, a person that's into video games, it's not going to be enough. They're
but
going
neither is 32 gigs. They knew that for the Wii U.
But regardless, you're going to have to replace it anyway. What does it matter if we give you 32 or 500 if it's still not enough?
Because Jim's waited 3 years to upgrade his hard drive.
Yeah, like I got
a year ago? Because we all made fun of him. It's like, dude, how do you have that many fucking games?
Let's look at it. But I'm looking at Xbox is a perfect example of what I'm looking for, because you get a 500 gig hard drive in the system, and then you just plug a 4 terabyte in the external, and you're done. I still had 500 gigs on the machine. Like, I can still keep games. Like, I didn't need to get that. Like you said,
hard drive space is going to be an issue if 32 is the only thing that they offer. We don't know
without having to buy an SD card.
Right. We don't know. Yeah, and we don't know what the discs or the cartridges are going to be capable of. Who knows? Right. They may have internal storage that you can patch into the game that way. I don't know.
How big are these games? How big are these cartridges? 128?
Who knows? It could be. Like, we have no idea.
If they're 128, these things are going to cost $80.
No.
Cartridges always cost more, Jim. How much was Zelda when you bought it?
No way they go above 60. There's no way.
They have to keep it at 60, but
they can't go above 60. So
there's no way.
I don't know. Like, what else do we need to cover?
Cartridges always cost more, so it's going to cost them more no matter what.
Again, we're just talking about theoreticals. This is just the rumors. They haven't officially talked about it.
This is all from a video, which had hipsters playing on a rooftop. So let's break that down.
That's the funniest
hey guys,
thing.
you want to go play on a
coworker.
rooftop? Was that?
Like, that's the funniest thing. My coworker's watching, and he's like, "Wait, so is this what hipsters do these days?"
Dude, one of the responses on Twitter was, one of the responses was, "Oh, cool! It looks like the place I live at right now. I can get one of these and play like this." And I'm like, I think she was being serious here. But like, where are they getting their money for this?
So
after those expensive apartments.
I know, right? I'm like,
the video though. Let's just look at it here. All millennials, right? It's like no kiddie kids. No,
and that's what I mentioned. Like it's the young demographic, like the 18 to 25-year-old bracket.
I mean, I would even say it's the 18 to 30 bracket.
We'll say 18 to 30.
I mean, it's not the Wii U market that they're going for. And like my other coworker said, there's going to be real games on this system. Like, yeah, probably.
It's kind of funny. Like,
for now,
it's kind of funny in a way because the games that were shown off, like Zelda, some Splatoon games, some Mario Kart game, and a Mario game, like those all came out on the Wii U anyway. It's just a bad public perception, again, because of the way the Wii U marketing was shit.
But here's the thing, Tony, with this, like, I love all of those games, and I will get all of those games. I haven't played Splatoon yet, so I can't say I love that game. Let's take it back. Those three I definitely love. I've heard so much good things about it, Splatoon, so I'm going to get that as well. But what I'm looking for here is the fillers. You got to have some filler episodes. We know
Absolutely.
this. And
Absolutely. Come on, man. You really think they're going to launch a game with just that lineup?
No. I'm talking about.
I mean, if they launch with Mario, dude, that's it. Game over. That's all they need.
They launch with Mario, that thing sells like hotcakes at first.
And Zelda,
yeah, it's gonna be great if that's two launch titles. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna get the system without a doubt.
I highly doubt Mario's coming out at launch.
Me too.
I wouldn't want to step on my own toes.
Guys, launch window. So we only have 2 more years to wait for this game.
Yeah.
No, but I like you have to have the steady stream of like Mass Effect, Andromeda. You have to have Overwatch. I mean, you got to have these games like. What's coming out? The Arkham re-release.
Battlefield, Call of Duty, Star Wars Battlefront.
The CODs, the
Forza.
Battlefields. You're getting NBA, right? I think that was NBA 2K in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good sign. But like they need to keep that support going, and that's the key. That's gonna be the key for them this time. It's not because they're not going to match in power, but they have to keep these publishers making games because if they don't, they run into the exact same problem they just did.
No, absolutely, and that's the biggest. That's my biggest. Worry about the system because
it's always there.
Right, because you need the games and you absolutely need third parties. You can't just ignore it. Because worst case scenario, you just have a Wii U situation where it's like the worst selling Nintendo home console of all time.
You've enjoyed your Wii U. Like I know you have. Absolutely.
Right, but it's not a primary system.
But they could make it so that you could use that and just get the exclusives on your PS4 every now and again. Just play your third parties on your Wii U and not have to switch as much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Right. I mean...
Oh, I just used Switch.
So, the thing that... Where was I going with that? That was a good joke.
You mean you do have to switch, Jim? You do.
Yes.
Right. Switch.
You'll switch within the Switch.
So, I mean, the good thing is that Unreal Engine is supporting it full-fledged. Like, they're out of the gates. They've even stated on their official Twitter, like, their sponsorship and their support of the NX, or the Switch. I have to switch over to using Switch.
Yeah, the Switch.
I say NX. Just keep going. You know what? I'm not gonna say Switch anymore.
Always refer to it as the NX.
Dude, it's way better.
So right, we might not. And here's the thing. Here's a possibility. I'm not saying this is definitely gonna happen. Here's the possibility: is that some of these games could just be like scaled down. You know, maybe Mass Effect Andromeda, instead of running at 1080p or 4K or whatever like that, you get it on, the NX/Switch, whatever you call it, at 720p. Maybe that's it. Who knows? I mean, I do think there's a large audience of people that the graphics now have gotten to a good enough.
Nintendo has already proven that they don't care. Like, Nintendo audience has already said that we don't care about graphics. We'll buy a Wii.
I'm not even saying. I'm not saying Nintendo people. I'm just saying overall. Like, I mean, mobile gaming is the most popular form of gaming at this point in time, and like, what's pushing the boundary on mobile?
With graphically, or
I mean,
exactly.
yeah, you got to give the iPad some credit on that. I mean, it's been doing fantastic graphically.
Really?
I mean, real
Yes.
racing's pretty
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Could you put it up against an Xbox One or a PS4 game?
On the size of the screen, sure.
It's close if you're
And
playing
that's
it on
my
an iPad.
thank you. That's my point. On the size of the screen.
But this is a hybrid. If you're gonna put it on the other screen and it's gonna look the same, it's not gonna be that good.
We don't know because it could.
You're right. We don't know, and that's
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just speaking hypotheticals here, but
Well,
I'm just
we
saying,
all are, I think.
right, and I'm just saying I think that for the most part, graphics have finally reached a level where it's like, you know what, I'm good enough with this. Like, and we saw this with the reluctance for a lot of people to make the switch from. Man, we got to count how many times I use the word switch in this podcast. From 360 PS3 to PS4, slash Xbox One. I mean, we're just finally now seeing games released this holiday season, this past, 2016 year, where they don't have an older version of the game. Because most people are like, I'm not going to spend $500 for a new system to play this game I could just buy for $60.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my opinion. I just don't think the overwhelming majority of people care about graphics.
I agree to a point there, Tony. Like, where yes, we're at a point where graphics and what you can get out of smaller, less expensive, video cards has come to a point where we're going to be satisfied. But is it really what people really want? Like, when you put it side by side, that's why we have a Pro and that's why we have a Scorpio right now. It's because it's not what people want when they see a comparison. Like, yeah, it's going to be fine if you don't know any better.
I mean, we have to see how the PS4 Pro and the Scorpio does.
Yeah, and again, this is all hypotheticals, but like, I think when
is
you
anybody else, do you know anybody that's getting a PS4 Pro?
Well, probably Jim will.
Right, like before the year ends.
No,
I have no idea. Exactly. I mean, what?
No, Corey, are you getting one?
Well, no, I don't need one.
I am not
about this
I'm
already.
not buying, and I will make this statement right now. I'm not buying a PS4 Pro until my PlayStation dies.
So 0 out of 4 people on this podcast are getting a PS4 Pro.
Here's the thing: like, it doesn't
Talk
have
about how terrible they've done with the marketing.
It doesn't
and
have the UHD drive that I want. It doesn't have that big of an improvement over from what I've seen on the PS4.
Right. Thank you. It's all about improvements.
Here's I'm just reading about the Tegra chip that's in this new console here. So I'm reading about the Tegra chip.
It's hypothetical though.
Right. I know.
We don't know what version it is. If it's the Tegra 1, it's Xbox 360. If it's the Tegra 2, it's an Xbox One in your hands. It's almost as powerful as the Xbox One. It's like literally right there. The fact that if it's a Tegra 2 and is running on a non-Android based OS, it could run even faster. The thing that slows that down on like the Shield, for instance, is the fact that it has to run Android.
Right, but the other thing you have to consider is you can't just compare gigaflops of
no, but it's
like between architectures because it's not how it works. Like the Xbox One is notorious for having a shitty CPU. It's a bottleneck.
It's a basis to run from. Like you can start where you know you're going to be. You kind of know your ballpark is what I'm saying. You know your ballpark.
You know a ballpark, but like
you have to see because again, it sounds like the chip that they're using is custom made. They probably worked with Nintendo to customize the software that's going to be running through it and the hardware that's going to be running on. So I'm sure they work together on this if it's going to be a custom chip. And so they're going to get more out of it. Just like with Apple, they get more out of their hardware because everything works together in unison. Where, with Android, it has to have all these separate configurations. You have no idea what's going to be running.
Right.
You know exactly what you're getting here. And if you're going to have expansions, then you know that's going to come in later. But again, you know exactly what you're getting. Everything's going to be the same. So you're going to get the most out of this chip.
Right. Not to mention that they partnered with NVIDIA. Like, NVIDIA is huge. I'm not going to say it just makes shit happen magically, but like, NVIDIA has experience with, making shit work on their cards.
Yes. So, we got to learn a lot more about this. Next week is their investors meeting, right? So hopefully we'll learn the price, a little bit more about the system itself, power-wise, specifics on it, really, specifics.
Right.
Which we're due because it's only coming out 5 months
6
from
months.
now. 6 months from now, yeah. I mean, it's a short time. So, game-wise, let's run it down real quick. Anything like Mario? We got a Mario game, we said. We got a Mario Kart game. We got a Splatoon. We got Zelda.
3D Mario game. 3D Mario game. Not
3D
like a
Mario
new
game.
Super Mario.
A brand new 3D Mario game that's
let's-
not a remake of
Let's
something
refer to it
else.
as something. It's Mike's Mario game. We got Mike's Mario game. We'll call it like it is. I argued it. I mean, he's not on the podcast, but
He can't defend himself.
no, but there's no defense here. He said it's not a real Mario game, so we're gonna call this one Mike's Real Mario game. So you have that. We have the Zelda, which I'm gonna love. We had the Bethesda demo. What else? Did we get anything else? I don't think we got anything.
Well,
else.
the
NBA.
third-party games, NBA and Skyrim.
NBA and Skyrim. Yeah, those are the two we got. But we got a
And
good
the
list
Splatoon.
of developers. We got Take-Two listed, which we didn't get what we wanted
Red.
today, which would have been
Red.
my head exploding and not on this podcast right now. But we do have a nice list of developers. We just don't know what's
You know
in development.
GTA will be on it then.
Oh, GTA.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I would hope Red Dead gets on there, and Final Fantasy 15 from Square, because Square's listed. You got to figure that's going to be on there, some definitive edition.
Right now, I mean, a lot of these, like, I'm just taking a look at the list. Like, a lot of these are people that I don't think were. I think if you go back to the Wii U version of partners, like the list was a lot smaller.
Maybe I thought they started with a huge list like this, and it dwindled quick.
Well, I mean, they had a
Is
list. but-
Ubisoft on there? Because, like,
Yeah,
Ubisoft
yeah.
always...
Nintendo and Ubisoft
Ubisoft's
are
on there.
so
Okay,
friendly.
I mean, I would assume that they...
I mean, the rumor is that we're getting a new Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Right, that's
and-
what you were
and
saying
it's
on the
exclusive.
podcast last time, so
Right.
I would hope
So
so.
I 106. And the thing is, these people, again, this is just rumors, but the people have come out with information that match up almost exactly for today with the date. Like, hey, we're getting news this week. And that was, Tuesday, or Monday, whatever it was when we podcasted. And people are like, no, if you don't, whatever. People are just fucking shitters.
Well, you
Somebody's
called it
wrong.
with your joke, Tony.
What?
You're saying in Nintendo Direct with the Red Dead thing when that came out, and then you're like, oh, it's on Slack. I think you even called the day Thursday was gonna be a.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is, I was like, well, that's kind of random Thursday, stuff like that. But they didn't. The Red Dead trailer didn't specify NX. I don't think it said any system, right? We just know
Not the
existing.
trailer. From the poster, it said Xbox, PlayStation, but those were announced. We know Xbox, PlayStation exist. The NX thing that's not NX anymore was not announced officially.
okay.
Right. But Take-Two is on this list, so
Something's coming. It's gonna be GTA without a doubt. It's just
Other than Rockstar, what does Take-Two
Yeah.
have?
I forget they own something else that we talked about recently.
But yeah, it's exciting to see Nintendo focus on the crowd that us. They've been so far down the Wii throat here forever, and it's nice to have them back on our side a little bit.
It seems like it. It seems like it is.
Wii U just didn't speak to me as a gamer.
No, and you said yourself, this launches at $249. You're buying it day one.
Yeah, if it is, I don't see it happening.
Wishful
But
thinking, but it should.
for $249, I mean,
It should if that's the specs of it and that's all we get. I think it should.
I think it's 300.
I think it's got to be at least 300 at this point. If
Well,
it's going to be doing,
It can't be more. I mean, if it goes more,
it can be
dead
more,
on
but
arrival.
No, I mean, it could go more, but I don't think it will be successful if it's more than
Yeah,
300.
if it launches at 350, it's dead on arrival.
I mean, if you're going higher than a system that's more powerful, that's out
Right,
next
more
to it,
popular, has a shit ton of
already
games.
established, you're
Yeah.
not going to succeed.
That's
Right, which is
it's-
why I think a
it's
lot,
gotta
again,
come in.
why the Wii U failed, because it's like you're launching higher
It never
than...
dropped in price.
No, it dropped once. That's it, by $50. That's it.
Okay, well, how long did that take?
Yeah,
6 months or something.
they
like
gave
that,
up.
whatever.
They said they were out like 2 years ago, Corey. They're out.
Exactly.
They weren't going to
But-
care about the price. Just sell what they can.
It's like the Vita. I mean, it exists, but whatever. We'll trickle some games out here and there, and people will buy. Some people will buy it, some people won't, and whatever.
Right. We'll see. But let's just go through, there's a couple sampling of the, again, this is what Nintendo used. But you got Activision on there, we got Arc System Works, we have Atlas, Bandai Namco Entertainment, Bethesda, Capcom, Codemasters, EA, From Software. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because most recently all From
Souls.
Software has done is the Dark Souls, Demon Souls game, and Bloodborne.
There's some cool capabilities here that we might get with these like these actual fully released console games into a handheld, back to a console. Just Dark Souls, thinking about that, being able to just take it with you. It's a cool idea. I mean,
level 5's on there.
The whole idea is a great concept. It's just, and I'm not. It's just got to be. I just want it to be slightly more powerful than I think it's going to be. That's all. I don't want Scorpio or PS4 Pro. I just want it near the Xbox One in power, and then we can get these third-party games that everybody's going to have to make the Xbox One power level because of it's still supported. It's, you know, that whole backwards compatibility
still an Xbox One.
They're still going to support it, future support, because they're going to bring out the Scorpio, but they're still going to support Xbox One for years because of this. So you have that advantage if you can make it this powerful. You've got it. These developers are going to have to make games for the lesser spec console. You got it. You just have to be close. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm thinking when I'm making this statement. Like, I want that support still. I don't want it to be a barren wasteland of games except for 3 a year. You know what I mean? That's what I don't want. And the 3 a year, I'm sure they had more than that, but 3, you know, big games that you want.
Get back to, I mean, so we talked about the games, the design earlier. Let's get back to, like, actually seeing people using it here a little bit. Like,
listen, you can't trust these hipsters. You don't trust hipsters.
Yeah, the roof thing, but like, the whole concept of what we're getting, and you know, we've rumored it's come to fruition. You're getting the dock, you're getting the portable device. How often are you taking that out of your house, Jim? Like, you're so excited about this, but like, are you actually taking it out of your house?
Well,
like, I can see playing it in bed.
I carry my 3DS around a lot.
Oh, I know, but that can fit in your pocket.
It doesn't really go in my pocket. It goes in my bag.
Okay, well, it can still fit in your pocket. I'm not saying it can't.
How often do I carry?
If you have an iPad, 12-inch iPad...
Who's to say this isn't going to have the functionality that I can get, like web browsing on it or something like that? It could.
I'm not saying it couldn't. It's not. I'm not asking that, Jim. I'm asking how often are you taking it out of your house?
If it does have those features, maybe as often as I carry my iPad, which is every day.
Yeah, and so that's fine. So that's what I'm asking. Like, is it going to be something that you're going to use outside of your house?
Gaming-wise,
take advantage of the portability.
Like, gaming-wise, probably only when I travel, which is going to be a few times a year. Gaming-wise. And, you know, I do play the 3DS, like in my room here.
It is a touchscreen, from what I hear.
Yeah, so I like the console. It's got games I want. I mean, I'm not buying the Wii U for Zelda, but I'll buy this for the Mario game, which looks awesome. Even though we saw like 3 screenshots. Mario Kart's always good. Zelda's, I just can't wait for. How
about you, Tony? Are you taking this out of your house, bringing it to work every day?
I mean, me personally, I'm not taking it to work, but yeah, I'm bringing that because, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I usually on the weekends, I travel back to my hometown and stuff like that, and I've already said, like, there were times where I'm like, yep, I'm bringing my PlayStation 4 back to my fucking parents' house because, you know, I want to do something, you know, during the downtime when I'm on the weekend. And that's a pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah. But we also have the capability, which we have to get into. Finish your statement, but there's multiplayer. So let's finish your statement, though. I just want before we forget.
Right, but here's the thing. If I could just take this unit with me and just have that same stuff, and I've talked about that for years now, and experience that back at my parents' house, that speaks to me. That's like directly, like, bam, like hit the nail on the head there. And especially if I could, possibly buy a separate accessory dock so I can have 2 docks and just like a laptop, just be like, look, work, and then home, stuff like that. I mean, that's
a cool idea
personally
too.
think it's awesome.
I like that idea as well. I mean, you could have multiple. If the docks are cheap enough, you could have 2 in a house. Pop into a different room, pop it on that screen, pop it on this screen. It's like it goes with you gaming.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's where, not that I want to bring up a sore subject or anything, that's where I'm thinking this is more of a handheld than it is a home console.
Yeah.
I know they're saying handheld, like home console first. That's where they're thinking. And that's good because you know what? It should be that thought process. This is a home console first. We want to build it for your home. But guess what? It's still a portable device that you can use. And that's where the biggest selling point, in my opinion, is because you have the ability to take it with you with 2 controllers attached to it, with the
which might be easy to lose. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they reminded me a lot of the AirPod things.
Right, but here's the thing, though. The system is whatever you want it to be. If you're somebody, and I said this in the Slack chat, primarily Western people, Western gamers,
Yeah, yeah.
We're tied to our TVs because we have the luxury of having a lot of space. TVs are cheap. This, that, and the other thing. Whereas Eastern, Asian gamers, like, they're always on the go. Space is limited. This, that, and the other thing. There's usually one TV in the house. Like, handhelds are the dominant thing. Nintendo has aimed at a new design that I think accomplishes both those goals, because it is whatever you want
to more
to
of the more masses. Yeah.
I mean, really, what do you call that? What do you call that if somebody uses it 90% at home and 10% on the road, and then somebody in Japan has does it 90% on the road and then only 10% at home? Like, what does it really matter? Like, you're calling it something else, but it's still the same thing. Tomato, tomato.
Yeah. Yep. I think. What else? Oh, multiplayer, local multiplayer, guys. They're really focusing
real quick
on that.
Before we just move away from it, I just have to make one point, because Mike's not here, and I want to just make sure he gets his say in, because I agree with the fact that what you just said, Tony, is its biggest selling point. Like I just mentioned,
it is what you want it to be. I will agree with that.
Exactly.
What you want it to be.
It is what you want it to be.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So if you want to call it a handheld, Jim wants to call it a home console. You know what? Both of you can just call whatever you want.
Yep.
I'm not going to argue. It is what it is.
And that's why it's special.
Yes.
It is special.
Not just a PlayStation sitting in your dock.
But pricing is key. So the system has a capability to link to other systems when it's together, so you can actually play some multiplayer. I don't know how that works exactly.
So, and here's the part, because I've watched this video a lot today.
Yeah.
A lot. And the part where it seemed like they did that was with the NBA game.
Yep.
They put the things...
4 controllers, the little guys, but yeah.
Splatoon.
Oh, and Splatoon, yeah.
Right. So it wasn't directly made clear, like it was implied. But, I would think that they would enable that feature. That is a selling point. And I personally hope it is, because, that's... I mean, you remember the DS LAN parties we used to have, Jimmy. I think you got on that bandwagon just as it was ending for us. But,
Halo 2. Yeah, Halo 2.
No.
Oh, DS. The DS stuff.
I remember you guys in PAX playing Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice.
Right, and this is something that I think will... Like, it's surprising that Mike, I can say this because I don't think he's going to listen to the podcast, but like he says one thing but does another. Like, I really wish they would remake a new version of GoldenEye. It's like, they did. He complains that nobody focuses on like local multiplayer games, and here's a sim that is focusing on it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not interested." It's like,
yeah,
what you talk about, Willis? What you talk about? Because, and this is also what I said in the Slack chat, I think it's interesting that Nintendo is still focusing on, the shared person-to-person in-face interaction, which is shown by, the two sides of the Joy-Cons, being two separate controllers if you want it to be for multiplayer, as opposed to like, Sony is going with like their VR, just like, PC gaming is like VR, where it's a very solo and very, intimate experience with, the system or the game. So I just think it's interesting. I mean, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just two different roads.
Well, you got to look at it this way also. I mean, from the VR experience that I'm having right now, there's a strong area of local multiplayer with VR, social. There's a strong way to do it. There's a different style of gaming that comes with that. So you have my own game. In fact, the PlayStation VR, the Playroom, is a perfect example of this. There's mini games in there right now where you have 3 or 4, however many friends you want, doing like controlling the TV. I think 3 or 4 at the moment, or it's 3 friends. But you can have them controlling things in the game like a cat and mouse, and you're the cat with a VR headset. So you have your own headset of where you are, and they play on the screen playing their own map while you play on yours, and you're trying to find them. There's like a whole bunch of different aspects of VR that it's not. Yes, it's a single player experience with some of it. But then, like, look at Eve. Eve is a completely multiplayer game, too. So there's a lot of multiplayer in VR.
That's online multiplayer, isn't it?
Sure. But I gave you, but I'm saying it's multiplayer. But I gave you a local example. Like, there's always interaction. They're planning games with interaction for the people who watch the TV. They can actually play along still.
Do you think that's going to be the focus, though?
Well, I mean, Nintendo did it with what? Didn't they have that with, like, the Metroid game? Like, no. They had it. Like, you had your own screen on your
I think the focus is there is no focus right now because they don't know what it's too much in its infancy to really understand how you can.
I'm comparing this to the Nintendo game that you had the
Nintendo
Wii
Land?
The Wii U game, yes, Nintendo Land, where you had your own screen on the controller and they were playing on the screen.
Right.
It's the same idea. That's what they're doing with this.
Right. That was a packing game, and they never ever did anything with it ever again.
But these people.
So if Nintendo didn't even do it with their own system, I'd have little faith that third-party developers are going to be like, how can we make a VR game where it's multiplayer and 5 or 6 people are going to be able to interact with one dude with a headset on? I have little faith. I'm not saying there will never be a game. I just have little faith that will actually A, come out, and then be good.
Yeah, I mean, but overall,
I'd love to be proven wrong. I would love to be proven wrong, and you could quote me on that.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I understand. But overall, I understand what you're saying. There is.
I mean, experiences are there. The don't stop talking game is a good concept that worked well with VR.
Yeah,
I mean, stuff like that can work. It's just, are we going to get full-fledged games? Who knows?
That's getting into VR. We don't need to do that. So, anyways, what else do we have on this console? Any closing thoughts, guys? What do you think? I mean, we don't have much yet, so. Managed to talk for almost an hour, but we don't have much.
3 minutes.
So yeah, I was like, it's gonna be a 30-minute podcast. Let's just do this. Yeah, so I think we're good. I mean, I'm covered. I'm looking forward to hearing more about this. I'm looking forward to the price, the actual release date. I'm gonna guess like March 17th-ish.
So was this trailer successful for you guys then?
No, I mean, listen, I'm about level of where I was. Like, it's exactly what I was expecting. So it's like, it wasn't like, this looks amazing, because it's exactly what I was expecting. Now,
it was exactly what I was expecting, but it made me think, wow, they actually did it. We knew this was kind of coming out, but now we know it's real, and it looks great. It looks like a system that will work and be, like we were saying, what you want it to be.
No, but this is exactly what happened with leaks, with the PlayStation event, with the Microsoft event at E3. It's just kind of like you knew it all. You're like, okay, I know all this already. It's not. For me, that's what happened. I was like, this is exactly what we saw. I wasn't like disappointed.
But again, it wasn't a press conference where they went in deep for an hour where you got.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I had that same reaction that we've had to the Sony press conference and the Microsoft press conference, because we knew everything that was happening. I was like, okay, well, I got this. And the only thing I love to see, the best shock for me in this thing, but the best shock, well, there's two, I guess, was Bethesda, sort of. But the biggest thing was the Mario game that they showed. I'm happy to see that in development and coming out.
Right. I mean, here, to answer your question, no, I think the video did what it needed to do in terms of catching people's attention, because literally everybody was talking about it, like on my social media today, like Facebook, Twitter.
It's all over the place.
Forum,
like it,
Reddit,
love it or hate it, it's all over the place. Yeah.
And even at work, like people come up and be like, "Dude, what's this new Nintendo system?" I was like, oh, and I was playing it, and they saw the video. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Nothing.
I would argue Nintendo still has magic for announcements. They can still get the attention. It's, can they hold it? That's the question. That's ultimately the question with Nintendo. They're great. No, they're great at bringing in product. They generate hype. The Wii U generated some hype in the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree, Jim. But that's when this is what I've been saying for years. One of the biggest detriments to Nintendo was that they had to support two systems. And I've talked about this even with Sony, that you can't support two drastically different systems.
Sony didn't.
No, they did. What are you talking about? They don't have two different systems.
Right. Like, the only time Nintendo has ever really done that was with the Wii and the DS. But even towards the end of the Wii life, it really petered off. Yeah. So, like, the thing is, and this is what happened. They had their teams being like, okay, guys, we got to make Mario Kart on our home system. It's like, okay, sweet, that's done. It's like, all right, now we need to run over and we need to make Mario Kart on our handheld system. It's like, okay, like, do we really need that? Because, I mean, who's benefiting from this? I mean, the diehard Nintendo's, they're going to buy it anyway, but the thing is, like, do I really want to? Like, I prefer the home experience, or, maybe I prefer the handheld, but it's redundant. That's what I'm saying. Just to make it shorter, it's redundant. So now Nintendo could just release one Mario Kart game.
Sure. And
you have it. If you want the home experience, you have it on the big screen. If you want the portable, because you'd like to play LAN parties, on the bus or the train or something, or the subway, you have that now. And now Nintendo can go, Mario Kart, the base game is done. If we want to support it in the future via DLC, we can, but let's move on to another game. right? So now they're not bouncing from Mario Kart to Mario Kart
to
Mario to Mario.
But now let me throw this monkey wrench into the scheme of things. What if they announce a successor to the 3DS? Because they haven't said they're not going to. They actually said that they still support the 3DS.
So here's the thing, and this is what I think will happen, is they're saying this again, that, we're not, it's not the successor to the 3DS.
They even said this wasn't a hybrid. They said this wasn't a hybrid, but of course
it's a home console first.
They are just playing it safe Nintendo. In the... I'm pretty sure they're playing it safe. In the absolute worst case scenario, this thing comes out and fails to the level of Wii U, where they can just abandon it and, in like another year or two, whatever, be like, hey, 4DS or whatever, it time travels. Yeah.
Yes. The fourth dimension.
Yes. If you remember, that's exactly what they said about the Nintendo DS. I mean, at the time, GameCube, even though it wasn't selling as well as the PlayStation, it was selling respectable numbers, and Game Boy Advance was selling fucking out the kazoo. And they announced the DS, and they're like, "Oh, this is a third pillar of our strategy." And everybody's like, "So you're gonna have two handhelds? Like, that's weird." And the DS came out, and it was successful for a while, but then it took off, and they're like, "Yeah, we're killing the GBA. We're just taking it out to the pasture and fucking killing it."
Yeah. Back
to two things. That's it. So I think this is it. Nintendo's just playing it safe.
Okay. All right. I think it's gonna wrap it up. Bonus round 25. I think we're good. I hope it was 25. If I'm off my number, I think I'm good, though. I think we got it.
We can always switch it later.
We can switch. Tune in next week. When's Nintendo's investors meeting?
Next week.
Tuesday? Wednesday?
Wednesday? We'll look it up. We'll talk about it on Monday.
Maybe we'll do another bonus round on that by itself, because who knows what we get. If we get enough information, we might do one, because it won't make the podcast next week, so we'll see.
Right, it won't, and I think we will, just because, like, supposedly we're getting, like, the info dump, like,
good
price, launch titles.
So we will discuss all of these questions, hopefully, on that. So this was the questions podcast.
This is the reaction podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna switch to the other one when we get it. I can't even end it there. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, listeners and viewers. Tune into our regular podcast starting again next week. Thanks.